Good morning, everybody. I just had to be reminded that today is hump day. Well, you know what that means. My goodness. Who has got their pink on? Hey, PE Island girl, I've been missing you. V. Oakley made it in. Susie's in. We actually have a new member. Even before the show, Curiosity. Curiosity is a new member. Thank you, love. You're going to like it here. We actually have a member show tomorrow. A member show tomorrow for 4th of July. What are you guys all doing for 4th of July? I know we've been talking about it all week. You know me, I'm going to be in the pool, trying to stay out of the heat, stay cool. Hey, OG Nanny, haven't seen you in a while. All right, so before we go forward, just want to say that what we're talking about today is the case of Summer Wells and the conversations that Ernie, or as Candice called him, Earn the Burn, had. Many are recorded. Many have been posted. A lot was going on during that time. And we revisited a video from when she called him when she was near some water. We'll talk about that more during the show. Thank you, Kimberly Mann. She gifted 5 Crime Lines and Lies memberships. Sweet Tea is a new member. You've got to be kidding me. Look at this. Lisa A. must want a good old lesbian spanking because she's supporting the channel. Well, let's do our Wednesday routine, my friends, and then bring up our guest. Again, you know what today is.
Oh, guess what day it is? Guess what day it is? Huh? Anybody? Julie, hey, guess what day it is? Oh, come on, I know you can hear me. Mike. What day is it, Mike? Leslie, guess what today is?
It's hump day.
Never, ever gets old. And OJ's got his pink on today, too. You can look at that.
On Wednesdays, we wear pink.
No. Not really my sort of thing.
That cracks me up. That cat made that. Hey, Nene. All right. Without further ado, let's bring up our guest. Everyone, please give a huge Crime Lines and Lies welcome to Ernie. Good morning, Ernie. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing okay. How are you doing?
Pretty good. We have a lot of stuff to go through. We've had a lot of conversations. If anyone is disrespectful in chat and doesn't stick with what we're talking about, they can be timed out. We normally don't do that around here, but you know, it is what it is. This is about summer. So as we know, Don, Candice, Grandis, and the whole lot of them are still persons of interest. Why do you think that nobody has publicly been cleared in the Summer Wells case?
Well, I believe that, with the suspects that's involved, that now that Hawkins County is pretty much out of the picture and the TBI have taken over pretty much everything. And I even heard that they've asked for help from FBI. I don't know if that's true or not, but I have heard that. I think now that things will get on the ball.
Now, were you surprised when you saw a new agent was assigned? This Josh?
Melton, Agent Melton. Yes, I love that factor. We actually have people who are in contact with him and know him well. So, and he is a very, very stand-up kind of guy, and I think he'll get the job done. It's a new set of eyes on it, and that's what it needed in the middle part of it anyways. when you look at something long enough, you tend to kind of lose interest, I guess you'd say. But then when you put them new sets of eyes on it, that's when it all refreshes over. So it's kind of like, in a way, it's kind of like it's new, but it's not.
Well, this is, also part of it. This is another reason why they're having an issue with the case. This is from the DA in Hawkins County, who, by the way, I believe is a very, very weak DA, but he did say this.
This is a very complicated issue that has been made more complicated by the players in this drama.
Nope.
The players in this drama. Let's talk about the players in this drama. We'll start with Dawn. Was Dawn home that day or not?
He was.
Okay. That girl, me love you long time. She said players in this drama. Wow. That's what the DA said. Okay, because Candice told Kathy, the friend, that he was home. Candice told her old friend Jenna he was home. Remember Dale? Mirror Dale, that one? I've got a picture of her. She told Dale he was home. If you don't remember Dale, I believe that's her right there. There's Kathy, Mirror Dale, and Candice.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it was reported to the authorities. Bianca Moraes spoke to Ronnie Lawson. Ronnie Lawson, the TBI and FBI are conducting a joint investigation with the sheriff's office into the disappearance of 5-year-old Summer Moon Utah Wells, who, according to her siblings, just walked out the back door when they were playing and they weren't really paying attention. This really makes more sense to me than anything that the boys just saw her walk out the back door. And if somebody was waiting for her outside and knows how to get into the basement where this mattress was at one time, do you see where I'm going with this, Ernie?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes, for sure.
Now, if you can tell me, what did Candice tell you about the condition of this mattress?
Well, only time we really talked about the mattress was because I actually brought it up. I said, Candice, whatever happened with that old mattress that everybody was talking about? And she was like, oh, well, they had stuff. I said, what was actually really on that? At first, she didn't come out and say anything really. She just said, oh, it was just nasty. It was dirty. Kids had peed on it and, used the bathroom on it, stuff like that. And I was like, well, let me ask you a question. Why keep it around? If you're not going to try to clean it or whatever, why keep it around? Well. And she'd always have an excuse. Now, if you go by what Don Wells says in the interview that we go with, he plainly says, whatever predator that came through that back door. Well, we knew that mattress was right there at that back door. We know it was in the proximity of it.
Mm-hmm.
So, Candice says that Dawn was home, and this is when she actually finally broke. She says Dawn was home, and I said, you need to get away from that monster.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, I can't. And I said, Candice, I said, look at what all the problems he's caused in your life already. Look at what he's done. Look what he's admitted to.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, no matter. She said, he just can't, I can't do it. And, that was after she was on the phone with me crying. This is afterwards. This is what we talked about.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you watch that, when she says 2 days, well, you see the first time she didn't get back with me in the 2 days. And she narrowed it down. And then we started texting. That's what people don't understand. we text for probably a month and a half, 2 months after that. And I had her texting a decoy because we was running those predator stings around that time, that same time period. I was having her text a friend in South Carolina. That way I could keep up with text and we could forward stuff to each other. And it was same numbers. I just told her I had two different numbers and she could text either one. So sometimes when I couldn't get to it, she would text the other one because she thought that I had two different numbers.
Well, because I remember she was with Kathy, and Kathy was furious she was on the phone. And you said she called me. And Candice said, in 2 days, I'm going to bring everything out.
Well, she had called me. She had actually called me, and I was sitting in the restaurant. I was actually in the restaurant. The first time she called me with Kathy.
Mhm.
The first time I'd ever heard anything from Kathy, know anything about Kathy, anything of that nature. There's people. Let's pause it for a second. There's people asking, "Do you care if they have your permission to stream?"
And
They're just asking about if they have your permission to stream.
who?
Team Rose is one of them. She said to ask you.
I think you have to wait like 30 minutes. I don't know. I don't know the YouTube rules on that. Or you can just wait till after the show and do a separate show. It's not going to bother me. All right.
Yeah. Okay. Either way, it don't matter. Okay. So I was sitting in a restaurant, and I was in a Mexican restaurant, as a matter of fact. And I walked outside. Because Candice had called, and I wanted to be clear on everything. Because at that time, I knew I'd had her because she told me about the 2 days, and I didn't answer her because remember I told you, I said that I'm done with you, Candice. You're just BS is pretty much, and you're just lying, and you're doing this and that, and I just can't help you. And pretty much, it was like right after the 2 days, it was like the third day she called me, and that's when all this crap with her friend, and this might be, and I'm probably gonna get this in order wrong, but Kathy, she was at Kathy's, and Kathy came through the house, and she had said, "Who's on the phone? Who you on the phone with?" And she just walked by her. You could tell that she just walked by her, and she said, "Ernie." She said, "Hell no, no, not Ernie. Fuck," and she went to going crazy with it. That's when that's when I knew that right then. I knew to change the questions up and started asking, and I could start asking the who, what, when, where, how, the interrogation questions about Kathy, what all she knows and what Candice has told her pretty much. And then again, we find out that Kathy knew Candice before Summer went missing. I found that out as well.
Now, I found that to be very interesting because, I was raising quite the eyebrow when Kathy, the friend, came out. To me, she seemed like a, jaded lover or something. It was a really strange situation. And she said she just started messaging Candice after Summer went missing. Well, if you look at one of the messages that was released, it was from February of 2021 between the two of them.
Bingo.
Summer went missing in June. So she knew her before.
Exactly. So, the first question I asked Candice about it is I was like, "Hey, and I was just being pretty easy about it and going easy on it." And I said, "Hey, Candice," I said, how did you meet this person? Who is this person?" Like that, just playing stupid pretty much.
Right.
And she was like, "Oh, it's just a longtime friend of mine. I've knew her for a year or two." Well, at that time, Summer had only been missing for like 5.5 months because we joined it like 2.5 months in after she went missing. So I knew then that there was more to it to Kathy, but I didn't know exactly how much was actually into it until Candice had came and she said, "I need a new phone. I have to have a new phone." And I said, "What's wrong with your old phone?" "Oh, it's just got a lot on it, and it can't do what a new phone can do." Well, I happened to have, at the time, we had a bunch of sponsors, And I'd already had a new phone anyways, and I had a brand new phone in a box. And I said, well, I've got a new phone. She said, you got one? I said, yeah, you coming over? And that's when she came over, and I actually filled her tank up, bought her a Mountain Dew, and gave her that phone. She went directly after that, said she was going fishing. She said she was going fishing. She had her fishing gear in the back of the vehicle. She had her fishing gear in the back of the vehicle.
Mhm.
So her fishing poles, her little tackle box, stuff like that, what she had. And she had something in the bag. I don't know. I never really did ask, but she had something else in the bag. And it was that little red vehicle she drove. She came over. She came over to Predator Hunter Nation, to our compound where we were set up at. And she came in. She stayed there for a minute. I did a short live showing she's over there. The whole hell of Beirut police and everything showed up because they said we had kidnapped Candice. There was trolls on the internet saying we had kidnapped Candice. There was people saying we were going to kill Candice and all that. So 4 or 5 cops shows up. Tina goes out the door and she has to tell them, hey, it's all good and everything. Well, by that time, Candice had already been gone. The cops gave plenty enough time for her and I to kind of leave. We left, and that's when I filled her tank up. We went and sat in a parking lot by where we had filled the tank up, and she went in and got her a Mountain Dew. So we talked a lot during that time, and pretty much that was the first time I'd ever met her, first like face to face met her, physically met her.
Yeah, so, and no one is going to kidnap Candace's ass at all.
No.
I'm going to get to Kathy next, but first let's talk about this water.
Well, let's talk about a timeline in this part right here. This is a timeline.
Okay.
This was about 3:30, 4 o'clock. Well, I give her the phone. She goes to her favorite fishing hole. So it takes about an hour and a half to leave and go from there. And she says, hey, I just got rid of the 2 phones. I said, you already got rid of the phone? No, I got rid of Dawn's phone and my phone.
Now, is this the phone that Tim Mullins wiped clean?
Well, I think Dawn, and that's the trouble of it. I think Dawn had a burner phone as well that Candice had. And she got rid of 2 phones, she said. She said she threw 2 of them in the water. So the next thing you know, on the phone, she don't know, but I go live. I actually go live. And I'm being real quiet about it. And she said, did you just go live? But you can hear her. That's when she's beating something by the tree. She talks about a tree. And she's beating something. It's like a metal thing, like she's digging something. And she told me, of course, she told me before I'd got to go live that she was setting up fishing places where she could put her pole at and let it rest while, that she tends to something else. She was setting her new phone up is what she was actually doing, trying to set it up.
I'm going to go through the video. Was Kathy with her at the water when this was going on?
No.
She was alone.
She was by herself, because if Kathy had been with her, hell would have broken loose and she wouldn't have been able to talk to me. Anytime Kathy was around, it was a no. She would grab the phone out of Candice's hand and say, you can't talk to him. You can't talk to him, and do all that. She would go crazy with it.
Okay, we have a question from Vet Girl. She said, may I ask, why is this coming out now? And she's a super nice person. She's not saying anything to slight.
No. That's awesome. That's a good question. You see, it's not just coming out now. Smaller panels like I had in the beginning, I brought this out. I brought all this out before. Mm-hmm. I brought every single bit of this out, but I wasn't in the Summer Wells community. It was afterwards. Everything. Like I can show you on my phone where Hawkins County called me, and me not even in Hawkins County, me sitting in New York City, literally, they didn't have no business calling my phone, but they called me and told me, lay off the case. That was the second time. The first time I got pulled over and I was coming out of Hawkins County, literally their district was almost up and I got pulled over and then told to stay away. And I told that on my lives then. Everybody's heard that.
And just please reassure the chat that TBI has all your information.
Yes, TBI already has my information, everything about it, and they have anything and everything. We've always had that open connection portal with the TBI on this very case. And if needed, I can go back and turn emails in and show you where we've had contacts.
And now there's a new agent. You can get a hold of him. Let's go through this video, and we have some questions about where is this fishing hole. Okay, let's go through it first. This was clipped from Zav Girl.
Interesting. I just heard it earlier today, so I was gonna wait to do it on a live, but I decided just to upload this as a short little recorded one that you guys can listen to. Tell me what you think, and then I'm planning on doing a live tomorrow so we could chat about it and maybe watch some other things and talk about some other things. Just interesting. Those of you that have been following this case and just following all of her interviews and stuff, it's kind of interesting. I'm not sure what's going on with her, if she's sick or what's up with her. So,
okay, and if my memory, I almost said if my memory serves me correctly, this was in April of 2022. When Dawn was in jail and she was starting to cohort more with Kathy.
Well, that's when, when Don first went to jail, he had Benny Keys come all the way out again, pretty much, and he installed, he had actually installed the cameras, and this is back when the cameras and stuff was installed and how he had them pointed. So he had them all attached to his phone. When Benny left, Benny had all say over everything. He knew her phone. He knew when everything was coming in. He knew who was calling. He knew everything. Don pretty much left Benny in control of Candice right there in that part.
Uh-huh.
So, yeah. Go ahead.
Okay. But when she's at the water, that's in the spring of 2022.
Yes, that's the Kathy deals and all that when she was over there at that little, I don't know if she stays in like an RV place or what it is, but I'm not familiar with the area and I don't know exactly. I've asked her where the fishing hole and everything is before, and I didn't get no answers from that.
Okay, Sassy Cat said, Brooks, can you please have Ernie tell us about what Allison told about Dawn bashing Summer's head with a hammer? She said that to several people, and then she alluded to the mattress. Can we trust Candice about the hammer? We've heard Dawn.
Yes, because that was actually, even in Don's interview with me, he stated, because of the celebrityness of it and everything, and the case of it, and what it is with the potential of the case. You remember in the interview when he said they probably got rid of the evidence and then they killed her. He was painting his own self in that picture. So the hammer thing, here's what happened. Summer hit her head when she went in the water.
Mm-hmm.
We all know that. She already had her head messed up and it was cut. After Hunter left, after all that with Hunter had left, they took Summer back to Dawn. Dawn was waiting at the house. That faint scream you hear that they talk about was Dawn Wells with Summer Wells. And then again, trigger warning everyone. That's when the claw of the hammer came out. And it was on that. It was at that mattress where that had taken place. They even threw the mattress was bare. What's under that sheet? Because if you look at it, when you look at it and it shows the mattress, there's like a sheet or a double sheet over that mattress. You see that?
Yep, I'm looking at it right now. The picture's up.
That's actually a sheet that held. They tried to draw the stuff up with that. But Candice says Don hit her with the hammer, the claw end of the hammer, his work hammer, as a matter of fact.
And I mean, if that's what they said, we weren't there. That's all we know.
Exactly. That's all we can say, and that's all I can say about it. Because I asked Candice, and she said even the mattress of that, there was, fragments on it. There was fragments on it. So there's a lot of speculation to this because this really made me sick. And Candice, I'm gonna be honest with you. She's probably watching this. To be honest, she's probably in the bushes.
Mhm.
And I'm gonna say this, Candice, your time really is running out. If you take that first step, I'll take the rest with you, like I told you, even when this happened. So I think you need to do that. Did I go to the TBI? Yes, I turned everything already into the TBI. And again, at that time, Hawkins County had the majority of it. Even though the TBI was running in assistance with it, Hawkins County was who that knows the most about it, and they had the final say.
Because the thing is Candice didn't start telling these things until after Don went to jail.
She was scared to death of him. Do you remember when I called and first started talking, and Candice would talk to me, and Don would throw cigarettes and stuff at her? Remember that? He hit her with that. He told her to get in the house or something. She wouldn't, and he threw something at her and hit her.
Mhm.
Because Candice didn't want me talking to Don either. Until Don went to jail, Candice got a little bit of free loose and everything, and pretty much a little bit of freedom. And then she started asking people. She wanted friends. She wanted people she could trust. Of course, there was other people that took her for everything she had. And she would talk to me. She would message me. I have text messages that's never ever been shown, and it can show you that it's from her phone. It's from her phone.
Mhm.
So I never brought it out. I never come out with it because I don't put everything out there. I don't put everything out there at all.
And unfortunately, with everything Candice has said, the police still have to prove what she's saying is true.
I think the TBI know exactly what's going on now. I think the TBI knows exactly what's going on. And I do think it will be very, very soon. Something's going to come out about it. They don't just leave these open cases and have people for suspects for years and years. Even you know that.
Oh, I do. All right, let's get to this video. Hang on.
Here it is. Let me know what you think.
Candice,
Okay, this is you on the phone with Candice.
do you know what everybody's saying about, listen, Rose Bly? What about her? Ugh. Is she alive still, Candice? What kind of walking out? You need to go to the hospital, Candice. You need to go to the hospital. I'm sick. I don't know. Sorry, I can't do it. Candice, listen. Go get help. Go get help. Go get help. What have you done? It ain't COVID. COVID don't do that. What have you done? What have you done to yourself? What? What have you done? All I've done was go fishing.
Pause it right there. Pause it right there. What she had done, she tried to kill herself, overdosing what she was doing.
What?
And that's what exactly she had done. After this is over and everything, you find out, I found out what she had done. She said she'd done a little bit too much. And I said, done a little bit too much of what? And she said, are you on live? I said, no. She said, you know. And I was like, you didn't try to kill yourself, did you? And then she told me, she said, yeah. She said, I'm sick. I can't handle this. That's what she said. Is that what she said? And then she tried to go off again. Candice always had a way of trying to switch out everything and change the subject on everything she did. everything. She would tell a little bit, and then you would have to keep in mind that what she'd already told you. That way, later on in the future, when you go back to it, you go back to that same thing. You go back to that same thing for her.
Okay, and my question is,
She did not have COVID then. She did not have COVID then.
oh hell no, you're not going to get
No.
COVID and go out to the water.
Guilt was getting her. That's what that is. That's guilt. That's guilt. When you can't breathe and you're sitting there and the memories are going by and you're thinking about your daughter and you knowing. Look, we all know if we do something and we hurt somebody or hurt somebody's feelings, we hurt for that. And we may hurt for days. Can you imagine what this woman's going through? She knows that her man just killed her daughter. Seriously. She knows that. She's holding that in. And I couldn't believe why other people could not see that. She was losing it. She was literally losing it. That you hear, that is real. That right there is feelings. Her feelings are coming out, for what she had for Summer. But the thing about it is, we all know she couldn't be much and let all that go on with what went on. Seriously.
Well, and also, she almost became, a totally different person after Dawn went to jail. Because Kathy was trying to get her, this is Kathy's post right here, to divorce Dawn. She started some sort of like online petition. Can't did. She sent it to Kathy. Kathy said, "You trying to get a divorce from him?" She said, "Donnie doesn't know anything about this yet, but I started the process because I can't keep going like this." Now, let me tell you what, Kathy knows a lot. I'm going to rewind this a little bit because this is
Kathy knows exactly what happened. Kathy knows exactly what happened. Exactly.
To yourself. What have you done? All I've done was go fishing. All I've done is stand on the ground.
She's there beside where Summer's buried at. Summer's buried at the damn tree by the fishing place where she used to rest up. Remember the picture she took of that tree and her back on it and everybody said something? Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
That's where I suspect Summer's at that tree. Because she always talked about where the red fern grows, where them dogs were buried under that tree there. She'd always talk about that. Now, we can go from there with that speculation, whatever you want to say. It is, speculation right now from people because we can't actually prove that. But it coming from one of the suspects' mouths, I think that's all the real proof you really need. What needs to happen is TBI needs to arrest Don and Candice on suspicion and then get them and take them in different rooms because they've always been together, take them in different rooms and then start interrogating good cop, bad cop, things like that. Then one's going to break. One will break. And Don's going to blame Candice, and then Candice is going to blame Don. Simple as that. Then you've got one or two liars right there. Take both of them. But anyways, keep going with this gets interesting. I remember this. Watch what she does. This gets very interesting.
What have you taken? Nothing. Nothing. Okay. The fucking thing. I fucking took shit, man. It's fucking cold out here. Okay. Why ain't you? Why are you on the river somewhere? How did I know you was by the lake? How did I know you was by the lake? Who cares? I can hear it in the background. Who cares why I'm by the lake? Well, just listen. Listen. Oh, did you go to court Friday? All right. I have not went to court yet. Court has not come upon me. Okay. I thought you were supposed to win. I didn't know. But anyway. No, fucking not yet. I tell you what to do. Just burp and get it out there.
I went fucking down and I like wide open.
Right. Get it out there.
Get up and out. I gotta go lay down.
Well, go lay down and get you some rest.
Okay, this is not Candice hungover. This is not Candice that's constipated. This is totally different. We've seen Candice over the years, and we know she is a professional drunk, okay? We know she slurs her words. She says things, but this is not hungover. This is not too much to drink. I hate when people just discount it and say, oh, Candice is just drunk. So where exactly is this water?
That's the $1 million question.
Okay.
That's the $1 million question. I know that she said there's a tree where she always props her stuff at, and she always goes to that tree. And I don't even think many people know where it's at all. I think it's just something she picked up over the years where she does, she does like to go fishing. She does. But instead of fishing, she would sit and talk to me all that time. She wasn't fishing. That's why I said that water was so close, but it was so far away as well. Like she was close to the bank and you could hear the water. So that told me during the time some of the water would come in, it's a big body. It's a big body of water. It has to be.
Mm-hmm.
So with that being said, she would sit and she would, I believe that she would have panic attacks, and I believe that she did try to kill herself a couple times. Hold on one second. I got some company.
Hang on, Ernie's got company. While he's getting his company, let's look at this between her and Kathy.
I actually took her to her psychiatric evaluation when they first ordered it, and it was in Knoxville. And at that time, she really hadn't driven on the interstate. She hadn't driven very far, so she was really nervous. So I went with her, and really she didn't even know how to work her GPS. So we get to the doctor's office. I sit down in the chair, and the first thing that she does is sit down on the floor and grabs the Legos and starts playing with Legos. When the doctor came from the back, she opened the door, and she looked at me and she said, Candice. And I turned and looked at Candice, and I could see shock actually in the doctor's face, because she, I think was looking at me to be Candice, sitting in a chair, waiting to be seen, and then she looks over there and Candice is sitting on the floor, playing with Legos. Like a child, yes. Do I feel the Lego thing was legit or a ploy to seem off? Okay, no, it wasn't a ploy. That's who she is. That's who she is. That's the level she's on. And, she has never ordered anything offline. She's never written a check. That's why I had to fill out all the papers for her, because she don't know how to do any of that. And that's probably one reason, she don't want to step away from Don, because, he handles it all for her. No matter what it is, he handles it all.
You have got to be kidding me. You've got to be kidding me. Why Kathy was so intent on making Candice this little, I got some on my screen, failing flower, I will never, ever know. Let's listen to this again.
done? It ain't COVID. COVID don't do that. What have you done? What have you done to yourself?
What?
What have you done?
All I've done was go fishing. All I've done is stay on the ground. That's all I've done.
Pause it. Pause it right there. Pause it right there.
What have you taken?
She said all she's done is stayed on the ground. Did you hear that?
Mm-hmm.
Rewind it for everybody to hear, because right there is where she's always at. Right there, that tree. She's at that ground. It's like when we hear the shovel and stuff striking, that box or whatever the heck it is, there's something there that she draws her to it. And she still goes there to this day.
I'm that bitch Mama Bear. She had a lot of conversations with Allie, and Allie mentioned many times about this fishing hole, tree, etc., etc. I've heard it in their conversations.
Fishing. All I've done is stay on the ground. That's all I've done.
All I've done is stayed on the
What have you
ground.
taken?
Stayed on the ground.
What have you taken?
Nothing. Nothing.
Okay.
Not a fucking thing. I fucking took shit, man. It's fucking cold out here.
Okay. Why ain't you? Why are you on the river somewhere? How did I know you was by the lake?
Who the
How did I know you was by the lake?
fuck cares?
I can hear it in the background.
Who cares why, by the way?
Well, just listen. Listen.
Oh, excuse me.
Did you go to court Friday?
All right. I have not went to court yet. Court has not come upon me.
Okay. I thought you were supposed to win. I didn't.
Oh.
But anyway.
No, fucking not yet. Oh, goddamn.
I tell you what to do. Just burp and get it out there.
I went fucking down and another like wide open.
Right. Get out there.
Nothing out. I gotta go lie down.
Well, go lay down, get you some rest. You'll...
Oh, fuck. I gotta go.
What time at night was this?
Oh my God. It's been so long ago. She would always go in the evening time. It would always be in the evening time. Like when she left Predator Hunter Nation and she went to her fishing place. She got there and I think the call was around 6 o'clock from 3:03 from about 6 o'clock or something when she actually called me back. She was messing with her phone. Now this may not be this time right here, because I talked to her a couple different times other than this right here. This is when, like, I mean, I even told Tina and Xander, I said, look, I said, this is getting to her. This is breaking her. We're breaking her, but it's a slow process. And that's what it was with Candice. It was a very, very slow process to do anything. This is not when she admitted anything to me. It was probably a month and a half till we started really getting into it. Like we had to build that rapport up for each other to understand each other. And then, I mean, like from this point on, this was like messenger talks. This right here was like messenger stuff. I couldn't call her from the phone, because if I called her from the phone, Benny Keys knew exactly when I was calling. And then she would look down at her phone and I'd be like, it's him, ain't it? Yeah. Every time I called, Benny would call. It's him. She'd be like, yeah, it's him. It's him. So
And
That
that's
was
odd to me that he had so many controls. Like he had, the app to their cameras on his phone.
yes, he did.
I've got a couple of questions and then we'll get to Kathy.
Yeah, for sure.
Jules of True Crime Reactions, love her channel. I quit covering the Idaho 4 case because I keep up with it on my friend Jules' channel. She has a great channel. You guys, if you're not subscribed, get over there. She said, okay, so hear me out. Maybe she was retching because of smell if a body was there. Just saying. Any comment on that, Ernie?
Can you repeat that over? I was fixing something here. I couldn't hardly hear it. It went in and out.
It's okay. She said, okay, so hear me out. Maybe she was retching because of smell if a body was there.
Like blah, blah, like she's digging in the ground. Yep.
Because just because EquiSearch didn't come across anything or the search doesn't mean Candice can't go to the exact place where she knows.
Well, EquiSearch didn't even go down toward her favorite fishing hole, and nobody even knew where it was even at. So that was out of the question. EquiSearch, they searched around the areas, but this lake, I mean, if you go to Tennessee and you're in Tennessee, I don't know exactly what state you're in or whatever, but there's lots of places that could be her favorite fishing place.
Yeah. Okay, we have another question from 2 Boston moms. She said, is this the same day Ernie met her and gave her the phone?
This may have been. I'll have to look. Like I said, it's been so long ago, and I've been off of it, but this may have been. I think it might have been because it was kind of dark. It was nighttime. And she only went there. She would fish in the evening. Candice would never fish in the daytime. She would fish in the evening time because that limits her visibility. That limits people seeing her actually go there where she's at and everything. But what got me really thinking, because I even wrote all this down in a notebook that I had, is when she says, I've been on the ground. Like, I knew that Candice didn't care about, cleanliness and all that, and she would dig through the ground, but she's mourning and she's literally like, this is guilt. When you hear that coming out of her mouth and you hear that little strange noise, that's what people do when they find out that they just lost a loved one. And that's what that is. And she knows, because you can imagine it'd be 10 times or 100 times even harder on a normal person or on her than it would be a normal person because she's responsible.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it is. It's guilt. It was guilt. And I'll say that to this day, it was guilt.
Mm-hmm. Coco Pop has a great comment. And I remember Dave Radar saying this. He was on duty, Ron. He's always said she could have been moved.
Well, look, when she was hitting that with a shovel, and that was brought out to me, that was like right after she had thrown the and here's the thing too. They had a little army-like little shovel thing in the back of her car where her fishing stuff was at. There was a shovel. It was a little small, have you seen those spades? It was like a spade. That's what it was. Mm-hmm. So if you're talking about that, then it couldn't have been dug deep far. It can't be dug deep far. And it might have been moved a couple of times. I don't know that. That was never brought up and that was never discussed because, of course, we never got to whether or not that was actual body that was Summers, in that. Everything got destroyed pretty much right after I started talking to Candice and putting this stuff together. When I prank called Don Wells, mm-hmm. You remember when Don was out, remember? When he got out, I prank called him. And I said, this is Mike. Hey, Mike, how you doing, buddy? Right? Well, he's a Predator Nation. And I got him to talk. What I was doing is I was testing his mindset and seeing what I could get over on him and what I couldn't get over on him. That's all I was doing, just to see if he would just try to double verify me. A lot of people don't do that. They automatically assume that you're the person that you say you are, right?
Yeah.
That's very dangerous. That's what predators do these days too as well. Now, what I did is I just testing his mindset, his skill level, and seeing where his mind was actually at. Of course, he had been drinking a little bit or something. maybe in a little bit of drugs or something. But I had him in a comfortable position. We turned the water on. I was by the kitchen. We turned the water on. That way you could hear the water in the background, because it's a proven fact. Any kind of interrogation, your body automatically relaxes. Your body relaxes when you're around a stream. When you're around a stream or water. You ever notice when you're out picnicking or something and you go by a stream or something, how you sit there, you want to sit there a little longer, and you kind of like just start relaxing, and you get that second deep breath that you don't have nowhere else. You go and you relax.
Yeah,
When I heard
you have
right.
cool air, you're listening to the water, you have more
Exactly.
oxygen
When I
around.
heard Don doing that, that's when I knew to make my move. Of course, we had Tina, Xander. Xander had him on record. Tina had him on record. And we had another computer device that we had set up that also had him on record. And then that's when the questions started. And if you listen to that interview, do you have that interview that you could play for these people? Because it plainly tells you out everything that Candice has told for the last 2 times, whoever the 2 people, or beside me, whoever the other person is, and they keep naming the hammer. Don pretty much paints a picture, just like a serial killer would, of what he done to Summer in this whole thing. And when he says they had to get rid of the evidence, and then they killed her, is what he says. Well, you don't just get rid of evidence. You don't get rid of evidence first. You get rid of the evidence after you use what you used to do it. But he was talking about sexual assault and what happened.
Well, let's talk about that. And I don't want to put anything more on Summer than is already there. I mean, she is missing and she had a horrible life. I mean, I'm sorry, that house is disgusting. She has parents that put everything before their children. I mean,
well, let's say this right here, right fast. Before they become in the public eye, before they was on the Dr. Phil, before they was public, you have to go back to that, because that was when it happened. You see, in the public eye, people are different people. They was God's gift to everything in the public eye. You know, Don was Christian and all this. Hey, brother, I'll pray for you, right? But what was he doing when Summer actually went missing? What kind of person was he? That's why you got to do your field interviews. And the people I talked to around that area, would tell me all it was a sex house. They would go up there, even with the kids. They didn't have nobody to watch the kids. They would be people having sex in the next room, high off their damn head. They'd be so knocked out, they didn't even know what was going on and who was even in there with their kids. They'd have 4 or 5 different people up in that little small house, and the kids' bedrooms. Well, you know how it was. You've seen all the remodeling they did before, even it was after, right? It was a sham. It was nasty. It was hell. There was condoms. Hell, when me and Xander went up there to take the pizza up there to Candice, the house was so damn nasty. There was condoms in the floor. There was condoms laying on the floor.
I don't doubt it, because I've heard all these stories, and honestly, I've heard some of them from Dawn and Candice.
So, you know, it does not take rocket scientists to put this together. And if you have that interview with Don and me when I prank call him, all you got to do is you can type it on YouTube and find it. I mean, everybody's knocked it out of the water on it.
Interrupt you. I just want to remind the chat again that we're here for Summer, and that all of this has been turned into law enforcement. What they do with the information that is given to them, not just in the case of Summer Wells, but every case, is on them. You know, they have to prove what they've been told. Now, I have a question from Vet Girl. Love you, Vet Girl. Cotton Simpson, do you know of or about him? This came up with the whole Fred situation.
Was never brought up. It was a 2-party situation. It was Candice and Don.
Okay. All right. I have another question. A couple of people want to know how you got involved.
Okay, so there was an old lady and an old man that had a bunch of files, and he said that the law enforcement we didn't know nothing about the case, guys. The day Summer went missing, we was filming our first child predator bust over in the Newport Park. So an hour away. During that time, when I was talking to Department of Homeland Security and the sheriff's office, I had on my phone. That Amber Alert was coming across my phone. The Amber Alert was coming across my phone. And I was looking at it, and I was like, look at this. Check this out, guys. This ain't that far from us. And that was before we even done the predator bust. We was actually talking to the sheriff department about Michael Whitaker, who worked for the sheriff department, who was the link to the Homeland Security. We was talking with him, and he was saying, well, you guys go get this guy, and we'll be ready for him. We'll be ready. What we didn't know is it was a championship ball game, and every little kid and everything was there, and he had been walking for 5.5 hours waiting on this child, or waiting on who he thought was a 15-year-old to meet him for online for sex. He was going to take him by the tracks or whatever down through there or something, and it was all on the chat logs. So during this time, Summer Wells thing just kept going, rant, 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 rant. There was like 2 or 3 different ones of them. And, we looked into it, but we never really associated ourselves in with it and didn't get into it until those people a month and a half, 2 months later, it came to us and they said, look, here's the files, they gave us a big old packet of maps, everything. I mean, I didn't even know what we was getting into. And of course we jumped into it. I contacted Don Wells, and Don Wells had agreed to an interview. He didn't know us from Adam. He had heard about us, but he didn't know who we were. So with that being said, Cher had canceled the interview. That's when Cher was his money maker, or that was when she was making all the money, and she was pretty much Don's go-to person. So Cher had canceled the interview. Well, hell, I'd already said no, because it's that day we was just going to drive down there. I didn't even know where he lived at. I mean, we had a Hummer and we had all the gear. We had everything with us. We had the whole team of Predator Hunter Nation, and we was going to do that interview, hell or high water. That's the way it was with me. I didn't give a damn about anything else. I cared about that damn interview. And when I jumped into it, I jumped into it too soon. And all we cared about was, finding Summer. That's all we cared about. And of course, with all that, that's what happened. And of course, Benny Keys that night or the next night had contacted me, because I thought he was just a radio guy. I didn't know who he was. I wasn't on YouTube like that. I didn't know who he even was. All I was a private investigator at that time. That was it. I was a real life private investigator, and I was licensed in 10 different states. I worked for ASI. We would take on contracts, whether it was people who act like they got hurt. We would work on workers' comp. We would work on different things. Just depends on what contract was. Hell, they had me down in Texas doing things. But anyways, Benny Keys had contacted me. He said, yes, sir. He was doing his proper lawyer talk like he always does to try to get in. And then he goes to his slang. But he was being real nice and professional and all that. And I was like, okay, cool. He's like, yeah, I got a big show and I want you here and I want to interview. And then all that, that's when it all happened.
Okay, quick question, because I remember when you took the pizza, you didn't go inside. You had to leave it on top of the car. So when were you inside the house?
No, Candice had actually passed out. You could see through the windows. The windows were clear, little block squares. You could see through the window of her door. And that's how you could see how messy it was inside. I mean, you could just look through and you got a vision of everything. You could see condom wrappers and like actual condoms. It was condoms like 4 foot from the door, like literally like 4 foot from the freaking door. There was another thing thrown over the table, and Candice had fell across the table, passed out. And you could see her feet, but you couldn't see the rest of her. And I was knocking on the door, and you can hear me in the live. I see her feet, or I see some part of her. That's what I said. And but she never would open the door. So we left the pizza on top of the car. Whatever happened with the pizza. I know we was out about $28 or $29.
Yeah, I saw the pictures, and God.
And and then we went, and then Lisa and I, we went and bought dog food, cat food, houses for the cats, dog supplies. We spent like I want to say it's like $130, $135 in Walmart, and we took it over to them and everything. So there was a live about it. There's actually a live about it. Do you remember the police when I was up there? They got a flat tire, and I scared the sheriff's department to death when I walked up on them because they didn't hear me.
I don't remember that part now.
Benny Keys had called the police. Hell, he called the SWAT team, I believe. I don't know.
Okay.
He was on his live calling the police.
Or is it?
Go ahead.
Real Rockin' Robin said she saw that when all that went down.
Yeah.
I didn't.
Every time that I would even say, hey, I'm in Hawkins County. What could I be doing? Like that. Just to test how Benny would react. Because I wanted to see how he would react to it. And of course, he would call the police. Oh, he's threatening Candice right now. I'm her overseer. I'm her, I forget what word they was using for that. He was their, help me out here with them. What Shara was, what Benny was, what Tim was, their manager, whatever, their agent, whatever it is. You know how they did. You had to go through them to talk to anybody. That's what he would do. And then again, Hawkins County would come up. Hell, they pulled us over. They pulled me and Xander over that night. Remember that? We got pulled over that night. When we took the pizza, we got pulled over.
You know, so sad for Summer. It really is. I really want to talk about Kathy for a minute. I really do. And then we're going to talk about the NDA that Dawn wanted you to sign. I know many people had to sign it and a few other things. First, let's start.
I'm the only one. Let's do that first. I'm the only one with that NDA. Hell, there was puppies given away. There was people loving everything and all that. But I'm the only one that didn't sign that NDA. And a matter of fact, I told him, I said he can stick it up his ass. There's no way I'll ever sign an NDA when it comes to a missing child. I'll never take money for a missing child. And I didn't. I never did. When I talked about Summer Wells, I would remove my Cash App and PayPal. There's only one time that I got carried away on a live that wasn't even about Summer Wells because my heart was so much into it and passion that I started talking and I actually had my Cash App up. That's the only time. And then somebody reminded me and I removed it. That's the only time. So everybody else, you know, Benny Keys, his 76,000 and all that. Like when he would have Candice putting aluminum foil, Candice said he would have her. That was his idea, to put the aluminum foil on her head and make the little twig sticking out of it. And they do 12-hour lives. And she said she'd be so tired that she didn't even want to do it. And he raised like $8,000 or $9,000. And he would get, remember when I showed you what, from her Cash App to his, she showed me everything that he had gave over to her. It was like $75 one time, $25. There was a $50 and a $10. But he made thousands of dollars. He made thousands of dollars. That family, let's say that family wasn't suspects, and they were actually innocent people, which they're not innocent anyways, and they were innocent, and they needed that money to survive on or whatever. Well, they didn't get that money. Benny Keys got that money. Benny Keys made $7,000 or $8,000 in one day.
Well, then why can't he get out of jail?
Oh my God. His mom has bailed him out so much, he's paying for his crimes now. He's paying for what he's got to do. Money don't mean that you're going to get out of jail all the time. I mean, his mommy would get him out of jail as soon as she could. But now, I guess he's paying his stuff. I don't know. And they may have fell out. I don't even know. I don't know nothing about Benny Keys now. Don't want to know. So.
Well, let's talk about Kathy, the friend, because she came into the picture months before Summer got gone, in quotes. She had a crazy relationship with Candice, and she just disappeared from YouTube. It could be because CPS came to visit her, because a person of interest was living with her. It could be because of the pills. It could be because she had the box with Summer's jacket for a very long time. I don't know. I mean, she got caught lying when she said that she took the box to her local law enforcement and they didn't want it. Well, why would they? It's not their jurisdiction. Take it to Hawkins County. Take it to the TBI. You know, you drive all over Hell's Half Acre to camp. Why didn't you take it to the appropriate person? So this is something from When Evil Enters, talking about these two. And I've got more.
I don't give a shit about your daughter.
Well, I do give a shit about my daughter. It's the fucking Ernie. Fuck you, Ernie.
Okay, that's you yelling at Candice saying you don't give a shit about your daughter. Candice goes, I do give a shit about my daughter. And then Kathy gets mad that she's on the phone. Do you remember this night?
Yeah, she got mad because she said, "Who you talking to?" And she said, "It's Ernie." And she said, "No." And she comes through her and she says, "F you, Ernie." And she's like, "Oh, I'll just be a minute. I'll just be a minute." No, she didn't want her talking to me.
Let me turn on the closed captioning. Maybe that'll help. Hang on.
I don't give a shit about your daughter.
Well, I do give a shit about my daughter. It's the fucking Ernie. Oh my god. What the fuck are you talking about? Stop yelling, please. No, fuck you, Ernie. Please stop yelling. Please stop yelling. Hello?
So Kathy, the friend, Kathy, the Christian, is just yelling, F you, Ernie, F you, Ernie, F you, Ernie, after you say to Candice, you don't care about your daughter.
Please stop yelling.
Yeah, exactly.
Please just stop yelling.
I ain't got nothing against it. I mean, it's whatever. I mean, like I said, you know.
But I feel like you played me, though.
How'd I play you? Did I get anything from you? No, I didn't.
No, I didn't say that. That's not what I said.
How did I play you?
Okay, now listen to her voice, the thick tongue, the almost sounds like Jody Sue a little bit. Okay, according to Kathy, the friend, Candice didn't have a drop of liquor the whole time they were together. Now, this is the reason I'm saying between this video and the one of her by the fishing hole, it's a big difference. The one by the fishing hole is her retching from something making her physically sick. This is our can't drunk.
But, well, because I feel like every time we talk, which should be personal talk, it goes out on the internet.
You were supposed to came out and talked about it. They would have. You could have turned everybody to your side. You could have turned everybody to your side.
Your standard time, not on my standard time.
Your daughter's been gone 10 months.
No shit.
Well, when was your standard time? When is your standard time, Candice?
I already know.
When is your standard time?
Well, it takes a lot of me to go public with a lot of that problem. Like, I can't comprehend that shit. Like, it's easy for you to
Pause
go
it right there.
online
Pause it right there.
fucking, hey, I do this and I do.
I started that question off.
It's easy for you, but it's not easy for me.
It's easy for me to do it, Candice, because I'm real and I really do care. I wanted to bring your daughter home.
Yeah, you don't think I fucking don't?
Let me ask you a question. Do you think BK wants your daughter home?
No, he don't. He don't give a fuck less. Benny Keys don't give a fuck about nobody but himself.
Let me ask you a question. When is your time? When you going to tell everybody what happened?
Man, okay, look. Give me 2 days, and me and you are going to go live.
At this point, I'd already turned it into the TBI. At this point, it was already turned into the TBI.
Give me 2 days.
I'll give you 2 days. I need to rest anyways.
Give me 2 days. Yeah, you need to after I see what happens.
Well, you be good. Get out of here. Go get rest. 2 days.
2 days, bro.
2 days. Well, I'm giving you 2 days, and we'll go live. 2 days. I'm scheduling it right now. What do you want me to say?
Hey, Ernie. Just talk. Go to your face. I know, show my face.
They literally.
Hey, Ernie. I'm telling you right now. Quit fucking with her.
She called me. She called me. She called me.
Well, all right. Well, if she called you, that's only because, like, you know, she's pissed that everybody keeps on fucking doing what the fuck they're doing. They're like making up fucking bullshit, and it's bullshit, man. You don't make up fucking shit, fucking back your fucking ass up. You know, it's.
And the week before is when Candice and Kathy went live with that Amazon wish list, which everyone thought was for Candice and Benny, but it was for the two of them to have their summer of love.
Well, if you listen to the first of it, I'm wanting Candice to admit by that time TBI had already knowed everything they needed to know about it. They already knew everything. I'd already turned everything in, what she said, what had happened, all that. After this is when all hell really breaks loose. But listen, if you look in the front of it, when she's starting to talk, she stutters a couple of different times and she don't know exactly what to say. When she's saying, this is hard on me, she's pretty much giving it away right there. She's giving it away. That's why Kathy's standing right beside of her. And then that's when she has to, both of them are throwing the subject off is what they're doing. That's why it's taking them so long to answer. Because if you look at me, I'm hitting them with open-ended questions. Every question I'm asking is bam, bam, bam. Like when she says, you don't think I care about my daughter? Notice there was no response from me. No response whatsoever. And then I went to BK. And then I knew, I was like, you know, what BK and all that. No, BK don't care about my daughter. But the thing about it is, the fact of the matter is, I hit her with open-ended questions so she would break. And she did. She did. So when people put all this other stuff and all these other characters, in the Summer Wells case, every week there was a new character. There was a new character. Every single freaking week, a new character was introduced, right?
Oh, yeah, all the time. And that's why the DA said this. I mean, listen to what the DA said. This is important.
This is a very complicated issue that has been made more complicated by the players in this drama.
I mean, that's the prosecuting attorney of Hawkins County saying by the players in this drama, and Kathy is one of them.
Let me tie it together real fast for you because I've got a lot of things. I've got to get to the doctor in New York City. I've got a lot of driving to do. I've got about 9.5 hours of driving. But listen, Let me just say this to the people. She was hurt in the swimming pool, or not swimming pool, but the swimming hole. Okay, she had got hurt. They rushed her home. She was knocked in the head. The pillow was placed on her head and she was suffocated. That's why, you know, in one of the interviews, Candice missed about the suffocation. She said, I'm suffocated, remember?
Yep.
That's why Benny Keys had to have the pillow and the shoe and all that stuff that he took with him. Now, here's the thing. It was on the mat. It was actually, the mattress was used. And they need to find whatever happened with the mattress. I think it was all thrown out afterwards and all that. That's the whole thing about it. If you listen, Don is the one that come through the back door. When he says on the interview, he paints a picture. He says, whatever predator come through that back door. Well, I thought Summer just wandered off. So that killed that theory. When Don told me they had to come up with a timeline, and they had 8 different timelines that they had come up with. Listen, you don't just come up with a timeline. You remember exactly what happened. Hey, whoa. You're not allowed just to come up with a timeline. You can't do that.
Right.
You know, they had all this time to come up with that. The thing about it is, Don thought he's going to get blamed for her head injury, that she'd hurt herself in the water. He knew CPS was coming the next day, and he had to make a rational decision, and he did. That's the fact.
Okay,
that's the fact.
Yes, it can't be both she was smothered and both the hammer, Because we know Candice has spun a lot of stories.
No, she was hitting her head with a hammer, and then when she was the scream that they heard, the faint scream, he put the pillar over her head and he smothered her. That's it. That's what she said. That's Candace's exact words to me. And that makes perfect sense. Benny Keys had to have the pillow. Benny Keys had to have the shoe out in the yard.
Well, and let's talk about the timeline. And I don't mean the afternoon of June 15th, because we'll never know that, because no one's going to tell the truth about that.
Look, even Jody, God Almighty, even Jody at the end of one of my lives, I said, Jody, I said, it was controlled. She said, yes, it was controlled. I knew then I knew I was right the whole time in this when I told everybody what was going on. But here's the fact of the matter is, I have PTSD myself from my brother and what he done, and him a serial killer. I have that. I can't help that. So sometimes, things happen that shouldn't happen. So I can't control that. This case broke me so bad. This hurt me so bad that I had to get off of it. We had all these people coming at us. We was stalked. Benny Keys was throwing everything he had at us.
Let's take a deep breath, because this is not about Benny. This is about Summer.
But it ties in of the money situation and all the money.
That's the aftermath. Okay, so June 14th, Dawn said to 2 separate news stations, June 14th, CPS came to the house and this was about BB guns. All right. Then he tells Clyda Trent that they want to do a physical on Summer on the 16th. He also fires Dudley on the 14th, and Dudley said he wasn't acting like himself. He was looking at his phone and looked a little melancholy, I guess you can say. So he tells Clyda Trent that CPS is coming back on Wednesday. Then, lo and behold, Summer goes missing on Tuesday. Then, of course, YouTube and things like that get involved. But Kathy knows a lot more. You there, Ernie?
Yes, hold on one second.
Okay. Let's go back to this video.
Like, come on. It gets old and it's frustrating and it's bullshit. I'm just telling you right now, man.
Right.
It's fucking bullshit. And I don't give a fuck what nobody thinks. If it's your fucking daughter and your daughter was motherfucking missing, you wouldn't want a bunch of people making up fucking bullshit about you.
No, but my ass will be out there trying to find and do everything they can to do it.
Yeah, well, look. They've told her she can and she can't do it.
Who said that?
That's what people don't fucking everybody has said that. Hawkins County said you can't go do this, you can't do this. You need to fucking listen. It ain't as easy as like getting up and going out. You don't know what the fuck Dawn did. Like her and I was talking. Like who in the fuck knows that what the fuck he didn't do, like have something with her, whatever. It doesn't really.
I know Dawn's responsible. I know Dawn's responsible.
That's one part of it. Candice is starting to look at my messages, so I'll hold off on a little bit. Again, guys, I'm probably going to take a couple breaks because, like I said, I'm really tired.
Well, and the sad fact of the matter is the 2 days didn't come. This is the issue. If you guys watch this little clip I have, this is why Kathy, the friend, besides for whatever reason, she was 100% into Candice. If you watch Candice's reaction here, she was head over heels in love with Ernie. Watch her here when he pops on another panel.
Yeah, it's insinuating. Is that Ernie?
Yeah, that's Ernie.
Yeah, that's Ernie. Okay, come up, Ernie, if you want.
Yeah,
to.
he needs to come up and say hi, the old stranger.
Get up here, Ernie.
Everybody's saying that you ditched me the other day when you come up here, which I know Ernie's in and out all the time. So Ernie don't let me.
Yeah, he ditches everybody.
He does.
Trying to call him for weeks. Freaking won't even answer his phone.
I know. Ernie's just Ernie.
Unless he wants to be mean to me. Then he'll send me a message.
But yeah, I mean, he's more than welcome. Don B, if you want to come up here and you got things to say, well, you need to come up here and apologize to Candice. This is your chance to make things right. There's Ernie now.
I'd like to talk
Ernie.
about
Hey.
Hello, everyone. How's everyone doing?
Pretty good.
Well,
do you remember me, Ernie?
I do remember you.
Okay.
We got lips up here.
Okay.
Hey, stranger.
How you doing?
I'm doing all right. How you doing?
Oh my God, is that Candice?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Candice, you looking pretty good today.
I'm trying my best.
Her
That's
hair's
good.
all long and stuff.
She's doing good, Ernie. She's doing real
Looks
good.
like straight and dried up and got your headphones set on. Lord.
Yeah.
Well, that's
Living
good.
the good life.
I
Well,
love
that's
you,
good.
Jinky.
That's her new nickname, Can.
Can.
Well,
Can.
what's
That's
today's
what we call
conversation
Ben
about,
Gilroy.
y'all?
We call
Don B's making
Don B and his bull crap.
He's making T-shirts with Summer's name on it and selling it. This right here.
Wow.
Yeah.
Why would he do that? He ain't got no reason to be doing that.
Well, right.
His business to be doing that.
And he's the one that's been stalked.
Okay, we don't care about Don B. But the whole turning on the camera, she wanted to make sure Ernie sees her, the whole 9 yards. That's the reason, in my opinion, we don't have to agree, that she was opening up to Ernie. And Ernie was really close. You know, I don't know how many recordings he has. I can't speak for what he has sent to TBI, Hawkins County. Ernie, you're muted.
Yes. I mean, you know, a lot of people say that. The thing about it is, I was natural. I was natural on it. I did what I could. I got what I could at the time that I had allowed. And, you know, that's all I can say. I don't talk about the case no more. It bothers me a lot. It still bothers me. But the thing about it is, I'm not going to go out there on a wild goose chase when good and well that I know that something's going on. So, and I already know pretty much.
I appreciate you even talking to her for 2 seconds. Now, I don't know if you remember this, but this is when you confronted her with the information about Dawn in the shower with Summer.
Oh, yeah, I remember this.
Do you have time for this? And
Yes,
then I'm going to post on the show. Okay.
Yes.
Got mad about it. Yeah. Like literally, like it just set him off, like something that to set him off.
Okay, like I'll ask him about who he's talking to on the phone. That really pisses him off.
Let me ask you a question. When he's around you, when he's around you and he's sitting here doing this right here, when he lays his phone down, does he lay it where it's holding up like this?
Yeah.
Or does he lay it where it's down like that?
No, it's usually upside down where nobody can see anything.
Right. Why do you think he does that?
I don't know. I just figure because he don't want me to know who he's talking to.
Right, exactly. What's the worst thing you've ever caught him doing? Nothing crazy now. Nothing crazy.
No. I'm not even going to say this online because no,
okay.
I can't do that.
Okay.
No.
So
that's something I'd have to tell you in confidential, in private.
Okay. I understand that.
But oh gosh, there's about 1,000 things I can think of, but
right. Do you ever just I've never been to your house. I don't know what it looks like. Is it like a little trail that goes into the woods and stuff?
Man, I don't know. I don't go out in these woods.
Okay.
I stay right here at the front porch and right here where the vehicles are, and that's all the further I go. I don't go into the woods or into any freaking stupid trails or whatever anybody has said.
Right.
fun fact for all of you. Fun fact. Candice says, I don't go down trails. I don't go in the woods. We know she's scared of the birds, the snakes, the coyotes. However, when she did a live a few weeks ago, a month ago, I guess, she was talking about some stray dogs on their property, and she had to go in the woods to find them. Now, what do you think about that, Ernie? That she can go into the woods to rescue a puppy, but not look for Summer.
Well, that just goes to show you she never joined the chat, or she never joined any of the searches at all. There was no searches even joined. She didn't care. She didn't care. They was in a hotel when the main search was going on. That just tells you right there. I mean, what parent would not be joining a search for their own child?
Well, I mean, on June 18th, 2021, her and Grandis went to a water park.
Exactly, exactly. Notice in the video you just played, she said, I'll tell you about that in private. The reason I asked that question about embarrassing something, I knew she wouldn't on live say it, but I was testing her feelings out and how far she actually would go and what else she would give me. And that's why she said that. I'll tell you about it in private. I was just testing. I was just testing the waters out. Is all I was doing. Testing the waters out.
Yep, there's June 18th, there's her and Grandis at the water park. 3 days after Summer went missing, having the time of their lives. The time of their lives.
And let me ask you this right here. Let me ask you this question. I want you to answer this question.
Sure.
If you knew what happened and you was a part of it, and things say that, like what I'm telling you, what happened, like if that's what happened, what I'm saying, would you take your time to look for your missing child and you already knowing the answers? No. You wouldn't have it. You wouldn't have that heart to go out there and look for a child. You already know. So why would you join a search knowing that, hey, they're not going to find her. They're not going to do this. It's a waste of time because you already knew where she's at in the first place. Think about it.
Well, I mean, I'm not looking for my keys right now because I know they're in my purse.
There you go. Bingo.
Not looking for my car right now because I know it's in the garage. Not looking for my cat right now because I know he's in the bed sleeping. You don't look for something when you know where it's at. That's the reason they didn't take up with any of these searches. No parent would not participate in a search. Not a one of them. No way.
They wouldn't even lift a finger for a search. And I'm not going to talk about. I'm not going to talk about nothing that's going to trigger nobody because that ain't what it's about tonight. I'm just trying to, do what I need to do and get everything situated before I've got to do what I got to do. But
All right. I hear you.
So
I hear you.
We are you happier now, Candice?
Am I happier? Well, I'm happy, but I'll be really happy when I get my babies back. When I get my babies back, then I'll be really happy.
Right.
I mean, I'm okay. I'm happy to a point. I mean, it's just me and the dogs here, but I'm happy to a point. But without my kids, I'm not really happy.
Right.
My kids were my world, my everything. Anything that ever meant to me were my kids.
Well, you see, they are your world, not were your world. They are your world. Remember that. I always have that.
Right.
You gotta be positive.
Sorry, I might have said it backwards, but
it's okay.
They are my world.
We understand.
Without them, I can't go on living and breathing. Period. End of discussion.
Right. Let me ask you a question. If you could say one thing to your daughter, what would it be?
One thing to my daughter.
I mean, you could say a sentence. If you could say a sentence or a phrase to her or a paragraph, what would you say? Anything.
I'm praying and hoping that whoever has her and whoever has done something with her will please bring her back home to me. Because I miss her and I love her with all my heart.
Now let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
You said whoever.
Now, this is a week after she said she had to put Summer to the side and she has to focus on the boys because the boys are alive. I showed what, Daisy said in her chat, that Candice said both her and Fred say Summer is dead. I mean, come on. I've got a few questions in here. There's something that needs to be deleted. If you tell me who said it, I will find it. And no, members don't get timed out. If we have to delete something, we'll delete a comment, but no, members don't get timed out. So I'm getting stuff sent to me and I don't know where it's coming from, but no, we don't do that. So what did you think about that?
Well, again, she lifted no hand to find her own daughter. She knew, and then she's focusing on the boys now. The fact of the matter is, did you notice what she said about her boys? And I called her on it. Were is past tense, and are is present.
Mm-hmm.
So that right there just showed she give up on everything pretty much. She give up on her boys at the right amount. Anything that this person here, when you say, what makes me mad is, and I still look at it today, is this: when you have these creators who uphold Don and Candice and take them riding on a little four-wheeler, look at the cow, let's ring the bell, that stuff, knowing that Don Wells himself said, hey, I've been in places where these children are currently at. That right there to me says, hey, Don, turn your man card in right there. Any man that can say that and admit to that, there's nothing to them. There's nothing to them. So, not trying to get off on subject, but as you see, Candice didn't care. Candice didn't care. And that's what I was doing in that whole interview there. Candice did not care. And I was proving that by what I was saying.
Well, I mean, here's proof right here. I mean, she's at the water park with Candice on July 18th. I mean, come on. I mean, is that not proof? Look at that shit-eating grin.
Exactly. When you think about it, when you think about it, and you think about the purpose, look, there's always a motive. The motive was Don was done if CPS would have got their hands on Summer Wells, knowing the next day. It was a rational decision, and that's what happened to Summer. That's exactly what happened to Summer. Don was running out of time, and he knew it. How does this happen? Let me ask you a question. Tell me one family that people have went missing more than one or two. Think about that. It don't happen.
I've said that a million times on this channel. I said those are lottery odds. It's one thing you can't find your child in the store. Your child got away from you at the zoo. Your child is playing with friends. But you have two people in one family that poof, vanished or gone. And you also have a lot of people that surround the Wells that have died.
Look, the fact of the matter is, when she hurt her head in the pool, or not, I mean in the water, if you would have went straight to the hospital with this child, who's going to be called? We all know the police is going to have to be called, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or CPS, where they've already got a case, right? They're going to be called. Then that further along Don's escape. You see what I'm saying? He don't have that escape now. But now he's got a day. If he don't take her to the doctor, if they would have took her to the doctor, the CPS would have been involved. The doctors would have kept and done whatever, but the CPS would have been notified that this happened. That would have made them make a rational decision. Now, Don knew that. Don knew he had one day and one day only. That's why it happened like it did. It's as simple as that. He paints the picture. They probably, he says it plainly in that live. If you want to continue this, look, I'm not going to be doing no more lives for a while until my health gets better. But if you want to continue this and gather more information, like interviews and stuff with this, I would more than be happy to come up and talk to you about this, because you're true. You're a true person. Other people is in it for the money. They're in it for not Summer Wells. They want Summer Wells not to be found and all that. They don't want to know the truth. They put it out here and they grift off of it and they extort. They do all this stuff with this child.
How people run their business and how they run their lives is not how I do things.
No, it is not.
But
And I found. Go ahead.
These people drive me insane. There is a little girl missing. Now, we talked about Kathy, and it's been said, speculated. Well, we know that they met before Summer went missing, that there is a pill connection there. Obviously, there was a run to the hospital on June 15th. Now, some people will say, oh, that was just a cortisone shot. I mean, I don't know. You don't need to go to Walgreens for it. Then you see this from our girl, Can't. She's talking about Cam, who, by the way, I think his decline is because he became friends with Dawn and Candice. I've seen a lot of people spiral after getting into their web. There's Can't saying,
Well, it's those NDAs they signed. They're best buddies out of that. No, they change. They're against them, and then they meet them, and they sign an NDA. They're giving a puppy. They're giving a bone, and the next thing you know, they're all gone. That's the way it is.
Yep. You get a free dog, and you sign an NDA, which that is so stupid because we're talking about a criminal matter. I can prove that right now because this is from TBI. Foul play has not been ruled out, so there is an open criminal investigation. So here is Can't saying she busted Cam snoring pills, and I told him to leave, and I didn't want that stuff on my property. Now, can you see old Can't getting upset because somebody has some nose powder? We're talking about Candice. And Cam and Allie and them getting involved with the Wells is why they are what I mean, don't get me wrong. They have accountability to own up for too. But that is their spiral. That is their spiral. Because they were doing just fine. Okay, I want to get to this part.
Whoever has her, right?
Yeah, because I don't know.
I know that. I know you don't know. Do you know if
You're fucking making me
it's proven
cry.
fact? What's that? It's all right. It's
You're
okay.
gonna make me cry, dude.
It's okay, sweetie. It's okay. You know, Candice, I know you got 14 years with the man. I know that. I know that. I know that. This is crushing you, Candice. Pause it right there. Pause it right there.
Mm-hmm.
I already had the information on Don and Candice before I went into it. I knew they'd been together 14 years. Look at the look in their eyes when I say I know you've been together for 14 years.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't know that. And she thinks I know more than what I know. But what I'm trying to do is get her to pull her part, and that way I can make a connection that I'm right.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Does everyone in the chat see that? Watch her change. Watch her change. Rewind it there when I say that.
No, that girl said, so all this has been put out before, he said, and we're revisiting it. Yeah, we're going back through. I mean, everything that she spoke, well, not everything, that would take a long time. Everything she spoke to Ernie about. But now look at her face. I mean, look at her face when you brought up the 14 years.
It's crushing.
I mean, wouldn't it anybody that lost a child or a child that has passed anything like that? I mean, who the hell wouldn't it crush? Oh.
Let me ask you a question, Candice. You think is it crushing Don right now?
I don't know. He says it does, but I don't know.
How does he act? You see how it's doing you? You see how it's doing you in your heart right now? If you put a mirror onto him, is he showing the same results right now as you are? Is he having the same symptoms as you are?
I'm not there. I don't know. I don't see him.
But you talk to him on the phone, and I can hear it through your voice, just as plain as day. Do you hear it through his voice when he talks to you?
Okay, today I talked to him on the phone, and for the first time since he's been there, this is the first time I have heard him even be upset or hurt or anything like that. Today was the first time I've ever heard that in his voice.
Is he hurt because of Summer, or is he hurt because he's in jail? What do you think?
I can't really tell, honestly. I mean,
Right. You know that night that I was talking to him? Do you know that night that I was talking to him on the phone when he hit you?
Yeah, I heard about it.
When he hit you, when he was hitting you, right?
Yeah, well, let's not go over that, please.
Let's not.
I'd rather not.
Pause
it. I'll go over it. I'll be gladly go over it.
Okay, please do, because she doesn't know about it.
No one's ever heard this either. What happened is he was mad. He was mad for her talking to me because he was in the house and didn't know she was talking to me. When he come out, he asked, he said, "What did you say? What have you said?" Bam! He hit her. You can hear it. It's on a live. There's actually a live about it. And she said, "I didn't say nothing." He's hitting her with his fist. We're on live. I don't think he knows that. We're on live when this happens. He gets her to the door and he hits her again. And he said, "That he calls me that, but you could tell in his voice. That's what got me saying, hey, wait a minute. But she's admitting it right here. So we all know, and I was trying to get her just to, hey, yeah. And she did say, hey, yeah, he was hitting me. So why would someone hit someone on the phone? Because Don knows who I am. Don knows my past. Don knows exactly what I used to do. I was a bounty hunter over there where he lived at for 18 to 20 years off and on. And I was a private investigator for 10 different states. Don even says it in the live. I've looked you up, man. I know who you are. You did this, da, 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 da. But he don't know that Candice is talking to me right there. But by God, you can see when he finds out, he hits her hard. You hear the lick through the phone. And she's, and then he hits her again. And then she goes to the door and he pushes her through the door. And I mean, it's in the live. She plainly talks about it. And you can see it in the live. You can find the live. And people have it out there.
And I don't advocate for domestic violence at all. But I mean, have you, contemplated that the abuse goes both ways in that marriage?
It does. It does. But when Don's mad, he's scary mad. And that's what she knows. And that's why she's not brought it out, because she understands that.
I mean, but the fact that she let the things go on in the home the way she did, I guess just to keep a roof over her head, tells me a lot. Now let's get to this part.
Maybe when I get out of my little situation, me and you can have a little talk to talk, heart to heart.
Yeah.
You can buy me some spaghetti.
Yeah. Why don't I just make it? Why buy it?
Hell no. I ain't going to shit. We're going to meet out in a nice little public restaurant.
Oh, you got the googly eyes from her. Look at that.
I know. That's why I named it spaghetti, because I said you can buy spaghetti. Because in the prior ones, she'd already stated that, hey, I can make spaghetti. Remember when we was on, it was the Prayer Gardens Live or something like that. She was talking about spaghetti, that she could make spaghetti for me. And that's why I said that. I said, well, you can buy me spaghetti. That throwed her train of thought off. And I knew she's going to give me a rapid response like, no, I can make it. Boom, there.
Yeah, she wants you up there with the best sheets she can get from Dollar General. And, Dawn's always talking about her damn spaghetti. It's spaghetti, ketchup, and hot dogs. And you're like, oh, hell no. We're going to go somewhere and eat. We're going to sit down and talk about this. I'd have thrown up in my mouth if she had said that to me.
If everybody sees what I done to her right there in the chat, put a 1 in the chat, because it was a gotcha moment. When I said buy spaghetti, I knew she wanted to make me spaghetti. I already knew that. But I knew that by saying that, I would get a rapid response real quick. Sometimes when people give them rapid responses out is when they tell a little bit too much. And watch what she does. Now I'm back on her side. She's giving me the googly eyes. I know I can ask her about any other hard question.
and watch what happens. Go ahead.
Okay.
Don't want to go back into there.
Maybe when I get out of my little situation, me and you can have a little talk, heart to heart.
Yeah.
You can buy me some spaghetti.
Yeah. Why don't I just make it? Why buy it?
Hell no, I ain't gonna shit. We're gonna meet out in a nice little public restaurant or something like that.
What, you
might be
afraid
ready.
I'm gonna kill you or something?
I don't know. Hey, I met a girl one time. She tried to eat me.
Oh my God. Look, I ain't killed nobody fixing my spaghetti.
But you're growing stronger, Candice. A lot stronger now.
I'm trying to.
Have you had anything to eat today?
I had
Do you have
some
any food
cheesesteaks this morning.
Do you have any food?
Man, I'm not worried about food. I don't worry about money. I don't care about all that bullshit. All I care is my daughter and my boys. That's the only thing I care about.
Let me ask you a question. One more thing. And I'm trying to get off of it too because it hurts me too. It makes me spit up blood. But
well, don't do that, dude.
No, I'm okay. I'm okay. Listen, that is a good movie. I want you to watch that if you get a chance. Okay.
All right, watch 411.
Yeah. What? Not no damn YouTuber. Watch the movie 411.
Yeah, I'm reading it across the thing. Ernie, tell her to watch 411. I get it.
Okay.
I heard
It's a movie.
Yeah, the movie 411. Yeah, got it.
Right. So let's do this. Look at you. I got your undivided attention right now. It's like a little school person in class sitting there waiting, like, teacher, what am I learning now?
All ears.
Okay, you're all ears. You're all ears.
Exactly.
Okay,
What are you going to tell me now?
Okay, so check this out. Just one more question. I don't know how to say it. I don't want to offend you, and I don't want to do that because we're friends, and I don't want to do that.
Just fucking say it.
Okay, I'll say it.
Damn.
I heard, and I don't know if it's a fact or not, that Don, your husband, used to take showers with Summer. Is that true?
No.
Did.
She recalled to the left. Did you notice that when she looked over? That's a lie.
We're going to see this again. I'm going to go back through it because he told Molly go lightly. She was in her kitchen. She about passed out when he said he took showers with Summer. He told other people, Candice rarely showers. So he would start the shower and the kids would come in there with him. But she goes, no. Look at this again.
Is that true?
No.
Did. Okay. He never took showers with her or nothing like that. And that's true. That's not true, right? Okay.
No.
Okay.
He never did.
Did he ever
I
burn?
took showers with Summer.
You took showers with Summer. Okay. Did you ever see him act any way like abusive towards Summer?
No, I can honestly say that Donnie loves Summer with all his heart. You know, boys are going to be boys. So it's different when a little girl comes in the picture because that's a daddy's girl, right? Okay, that's the way it is.
Did you know that Don told Molly Golightly that he did take showers with Summer?
No, I did not know that.
There's a video recording of it. Of him saying he did.
I didn't know that.
Hold on a second. Can someone can anyone get a video recording of that? If that did happen and did take place? Like I said, I don't know much about the case. If that did take place, let me ask you a question, Candice. If that did take place and you see a video of him saying that, how are you going to feel?
I'm going to flip the fuck out, man. I'm going to flip the fuck out for real.
So if you hear a video.
Okay. There is a video out there. He said it to more than one person. She goes, I'm going to flip the F out. I'm going to flip the F out for real. She knew. She knew.
She gives herself away like twice already.
When True was at the house, her and Hunter, okay? I don't know what was going on, you know? Who knows? One of their parties. It's safe to say Can't never flipped out. True said Dawn went to bed. Candice stripped Summer naked and said she has to go sleep with her daddy and he always sleeps naked. And I thought, wow, this is a far stretch. Then we go to Springdale, Arkansas, when the police showed up because they had kids in their hotel room, which they weren't there. Anyway, she told the police, I have to, knock on the door first because he sleeps naked.
Did you also notice, have you ever heard the part where how Don sleeps naked? He sleeps upside down and the kids sleep on the other. You know that?
No, I never heard that one. Nope, I never heard that.
That's what Candice said when I mentioned all that stuff about the shower and the beds.
Of him saying, yeah, I took showers with Summer.
I'm gonna fucking go off. Ooh. Somebody better have bail money.
Well, you can't get to him, obviously, now. Come on. You can't get to him. Now, let me ask you a question with this. If that is true, are you going to call him at jail on his little machine there? What would you say to him? What would you say to him?
No, I'm gonna wait until he calls me tomorrow, and then I'm gonna unleash something that has never been unleashed before.
Really?
Yeah, because that is unacceptable.
These people in the chat.
I mean, don't play with me, dude. Do not play with me.
Listen.
Do not.
Listen, look at this. Melanie, read across the screen, Candice. I won't lie to you. Read it. There's a reason I asked that, because I know you didn't know about it. Read across the screen, Candice. Don did say that. I heard it too. He did say it a few times, yes. Don definitely said it. It did. I heard him saying it. He did. How did she miss that? You see, I know you missed that. That's why I asked the question, Candice. You see?
I don't care that she missed it on YouTube. How did she miss it in her own home?
It doesn't happen.
It didn't happen. She knew. She knew why CPS was there, as Dawn told the news, for Summer's 3 year. She knew why they were there on June 14th. He fired Dudley that day. He couldn't have any spying eyes on him. She knew that Summer was supposed to have a physical on the 16th. She knew to be as busy as possible on the 15th. That was a very unusual day for Can.
Well, they had to have their alibis all set in order and everything for what was going to happen. You know what's sad about it is Summer, either way, whatever, had no choice in the matter. That's sad and that's sick in the same direction.
Summer never had a chance. Yeah, and that's what makes me cry, to be quite honest. I mean, she never had a chance in that house. The deviancy, the alcohol, the rugs, as we have to say on YouTube. She didn't have a chance.
I'll let you talk now. But he did say it. If I had the video, he said it live on YouTube, Candice.
Fuck no, man. Fucking no.
Candice, they heard the interview. Look at this. All these people here heard it. He said he had to take showers with her because Candice wouldn't or didn't, and that is the biggest line of BS I've ever heard. He did it because he wanted to, is what they're saying. It's okay, Candice. You're not in trouble, Candice. You're the victim. I told you that at the beginning. I've told you that. But it's up to you to unleash what you know. You see what I'm saying? It's okay. It's okay. Unleash what you know, Candice. Do it for your daughter.
Notice you jumped out of the picture real fast.
Yeah, because you said do it for your daughter. Do it for your daughter.
It broke her.
She couldn't handle that conversation. She couldn't handle that conversation at all.
You see, asking the hard questions is the hard thing about it. You got to have a heart. You got to have passion, but you also got to have your smarts and your wits. A lot of these YouTubers, they meet these people. They meet these criminals like Candice Don Wells, and they put them up on a pedestal and they worship them pretty much, and they forget what their main subject and target really is, and that's finding a missing child. In this case, this missing child being Summer Wells. They don't care. They lose themselves in the moment. You ever heard of people that lose themselves in a moment when they meet a celebrity or somebody that's been on Dr. Phil or whatever?
Oh yeah. They get enamored by the celebrity. Okay, we're getting some stuff deleted that doesn't need to be deleted. I know there's a lot going on. Let's just be extra careful. Mod Squad, you are the best. Just a reminder. Go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
So, no, I actually muted out because I know you was getting, I was looking at the chat too and seeing it. But the fact of the matter is, these people, they put themselves up to saying to the people before they go and they collect all this money and stuff. And then they go and they visit Don Wells and Candice Wells and they stay 2 or 3 days, whether a hotel or in their house and everything. And then they come back with a different perspective of what the people has not even heard of before, something totally different. And then their best friends, they're showing them the cows. They got the cowbells, their best buddies. They're taking the photos with them when they lose the interest of what's really there. And that's Summer Moon Utah Wells in this case. Thank you.
Yep. That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. Her life, you know, what she had to deal with, what she had to witness, what she had to see. Imagine her anxiety throughout the day. Look, I know there's nice pictures out there. But let's talk about her real life, because we know what goes on behind closed doors is not what you see on Facebook. And what I saw on Facebook was enough to make my stomach turn. It's horrible. Now, when you were getting the door, I played this. I didn't know if you had ever seen this before. This is when Kathy took Candice to a psych evaluation. Because Kathy, I'm not saying she has anything to do with Summer's disappearance, but I'm telling you, she knows a lot. And she needs to talk to the police, go under oath, give a deposition, whatever you want to call it, and help if she really cares. Because she spent all this time putting this together and putting her granddaughter's Amazon wish list out. She went to truck stops. She went to rest centers, Cracker Barrels, everything. Cash App, Kathy the friend. Addison's Amazon wish list. And she had these Easter eggs with a little miniature flyer of Summer. Okay, but the entire time that her boo thing, Candice, was with her, there they are together. She don't have her mask on there. She wasn't doing anything for Summer. But then she comes out of the gate and says all this was going on. And sadly, I believe a lot was going on. Look at this, Ernie.
I actually took her to her psychiatric evaluation when they first ordered it, and it was in Knoxville. And at that time, she really hadn't driven on the interstate. You know, she hadn't driven very far, so she was really nervous. So I went with her, and really she didn't even know how to work her GPS. So we get to the doctor's office. I sit down in the chair, and the first thing that she does is sit down on the floor and grabs the Legos and starts playing with Legos. When the doctor came from the back, she opened the door, and she looked at me and she said, "Candice." And I turned and looked at Candice, and I could see shock actually in the doctor's face, because she, you know, I think was looking at me to be Candice, you know, sitting in a chair, waiting to be seen, and then she looks over there and Candice is sitting on the floor, playing with Legos. Like a child, yes. Do I feel the Lego thing was legit or a ploy to seem off? Okay, no, it wasn't a ploy. That's who she is. That's who she is. That's the level she's on. And, you know, she has never ordered anything offline. She's never written a check. That's why I had to fill out all the papers for her, because she don't know how to do any of that. So You know, and that's probably one reason, you know, she don't want to step away from Don because, you know, he handles it all for her. No matter what it is, he handles it all.
She took her for a psych evaluation. That is for one thing, defense. That's the only thing. That is for defense. I'm sure you've never seen that before, Ernie, but what do you think about that?
Well, that's the first time I've ever seen it, and I'm gonna have to I'm gonna have to take time to even just to kind of relay that out, just to even think what I think about it. It's kind of like shocked my mind out. I've never seen it.
Amissa said, except we know Candice has driven on the interstate. She has posted videos of driving to Wisconsin with the kids. And there's Kathy saying she's never driven on the interstate. She's never wrote a check. No, some people haven't written a check, but she's drove on the interstate. She came all, I mean, she drove all the way down I-40 from Springdale, Arkansas, back to her house. Why is Kathy protecting Candice?
She drove an hour and a half to where we was at in her car.
Really? Where was that at?
From Newport to wherever, you know, where she's at in Ben Hill.
Mm-hmm. You know, and some people said, you know, maybe she's sitting there grieving, playing with the Legos. I don't know, but it was supposedly a psych evaluation. You know, I think she was, just my opinion, I think she was trying to make herself look a little loonier than she actually is. Well, Ernie, I want to say thank you very much for coming on today. I didn't mean to keep you for so long. Everyone, can we have a big round of applause for our guest today? Well, thank you so much for coming and talking to us, because you had a lot of conversations with Candice. I mean, she really trusted you for a very long time. I believe Kathy got in the middle of it. Maybe some other people, but you know, you were really close. Can we clear up one thing?
Yes, let's do it.
Who put all the dildos in the yard?
That was something Benny Keys and her come up with. I didn't have no thing in that. I didn't do anything of that. I wasn't even around in the area and when all that happened. When I heard about that, I still don't even know. I still don't even know if it's something that belonged to her or what the deal was with that. I don't even know how it happened. Benny Keys put it out there, and then that's what happened. But you know, there was never no receipts on any of it. But let me say this. Let me say this to the people in the chat. You know, I've always been one that if you can show it to the people that it's real is real. All this other stuff is speculation. Everything they say, it don't matter if it's about me or whatever the deal is, but real is real. Always remember that. Real is real. You know, what gets me is there's a lot of people that's been sent over here to derail your chat. They was sent to derail it. And they're by a man who married a 12-year-old while he was and he effed 11-year-old. Let's just say that. He married a 12-year-old. After the divorce, then went and got with another underage child. That should show you right there. There's predators amongst us. There's child predators amongst us, and they're in for the control power. But if you want to stop that, please, I always believe that we, the people, will protect the children at all costs. And if anybody wants to subscribe to my channel, Lightning Tiger USA. Let's get to New York City. Have fun, and thank you. I appreciate you, chat. Much respect, and God bless you all. Thank you.
Thank you. You guys have a great rest of your day. And you all, I will see you tomorrow. We have a very special members live. You guys are the absolute best. Thank you, Mod Squad. I don't know how you kept up, but you guys are all amazing people. Love you to pieces. Thank you for being here. Keep up the good work for summer, please.